Hello and welcome to the 9 p.m. news on Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry Apelai.
And I am Vivian Oguche.
And before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. And for calling and WhatsApp, the number is 09044732605. And now to the headlines. Federal government to spend 4.91 trillion naira on defense security.
And unemployment will be tackled head-on in 2025, Tinubu assures youth.
REA outlines a plan for $750 million World Bank loan implementation.
CBN imposes 1.2 million naira daily limit on POS agents.
Parents besiege hospitals as many children fear dead in Farm Fest stampede.
In business, Customs implements presidential fiscal incentives and compressed natural gas.
In entertainment, Beyonce becomes the most certified female artist in RIAA history.
On sports news, difficult moments filled my Africa Best Award, says Lukman. Well, now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday said that his administration would spend 4.91 trillion naira on defense and security in the 2025 fiscal year. Also, infrastructure, health and education are to get 4.06 trillion naira, 2.48 trillion naira and 3.5 trillion naira respectively. Tinubu stated this during his 2025 appropriation bill presentation to a joint session of the 10th National Assembly in Abuja. Addressing the lawmakers, the president said that the administration will be taking a deliberate step to resolve decisions and clear priorities in implementing the budget. He said the budget reflects a renewed commitment to strengthening the foundation of a robust economy, adding that the government hopes to secure the nation by addressing the critical sectors essential for the growth and development of the country. Describing security as the foundation of all progress, Tinubu assured continued provision of modern tools and technology for the military for the nation's safekeeping. According to him, boosting the morale of the men and women in the armed forces will remain his government's top priority to enable them defend insurgency, banditry, and threats to the nation's sovereignty.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's resolve to tackle youth unemployment head-on in the new year. He gave the assurance while declaring open a 3-day national conference on skills acquisition themed vocational skills acquisition, entrepreneurship, and challenges of development in Nigeria. The conference, organized by the ruling All Progressive Congress APC think tank and Intellectual Resource Center, the Progressive Institute TPI, is a fundamental contribution of the party in governance. The president, who spoke through the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, emphasized his government's commitment to bringing any gaps hindering the achievement of this goal. The president acknowledged and stressed the critical need for synergy, maximizing resources, and harmonizing federal intervention with state efforts.
While the federal government on Wednesday revealed its plan for the implementation of the 750 billion World Bank loan for the development of renewable energy, the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, is championing the development of the renewable energy to boost supply to education, health, agriculture, rural communities, and transportation sectors. With about 80 million Nigerians, estimated to be without electricity supply, the government said that the EHAD project aims to deploy mini-grids to solve the energy access problems in rural communities, thereby creating sustainable economies and reducing rural-urban drift in Nigeria. The government said as part of its strategy, it has earmarked another $700 million from the Africa Development Bank to fund the Desert to Power project, which seeks to harness the abundant sunlight in the northern region of the country to generate renewable energy for communities. According to the Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, at a stakeholder engagement workshop organized by the IEA in Abuja, off-grid electricity supply has become a key component the government's plan to bridge the electricity supply gap. Represented by the Director of Renewable and Rural Power Access, Dr. Sunday Owolabi, expressed optimism that the various projects in the renewable energy sector would impact at least 13 million Nigerians.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has restricted point-of-sales agents to a daily transaction limit of 1.2 million naira. In a circular in its cash-out limit for agent banking transactions, which was released on Tuesday, the Apex Bank said the move is in line with its efforts to advance a cashless economy. Signed by Oladimeji Yisa Taiwo for the Director, Payment System Management Department, the circular said the policy intervention become necessary to enhance the use of electronic payment channels for agency banking operations. Part of the policy intervention also set a cash withdrawal limit per customer regardless of channel at 500,000 naira per week. All agent banking terminals are now set to a daily maximum transaction cash out limit of 100,000 naira per customer, while an agent's daily cumulative cash out limit is now 1.2 million naira. As of July 2024, Nigeria had 3.05 million deployed POS and 4.06 million registered POS terminals, according to the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, PLC.
Well, staying with this particular report, the Central Bank of Nigeria has introduced new cash withdrawal limits for point-of-sale transactions, setting daily and weekly gaps, or caps, if you will, to encourage electronic payments and regulate agent banking activities. The policy has sparked mixed reactions across the country, with concerns about its impact on daily transactions. VOP TV's Matthew Ogunsuwada engaged with citizens to have their perspectives on this directive and brings us the details.
CBN has introduced new cash withdrawal limit for point-of-sale transactions as part of its effort to promote electronic payments and streamline agent banking operations. In a circular titled Circular on Cash Out Limit for Agent Banking Transactions released on Tuesday, the Apex Bank disclosed that customers can now withdraw a maximum of 100,000 naira daily per POS transaction and 500,000 naira weekly. However, this directive is targeted at deposit money banks, microfinance banks, mobile money operators, and super agents. Key measures outlined in the circular include a weekly withdrawal of 500,000 naira per customer, a daily cash out limit of 100,000 naira for agent banking services, a cumulative daily limit of 1.2 million naira per agent, the mandatory use of agent code to differentiate agent banking from merchant activities. Additionally, the Central Bank of Nigeria explained that the policy is designed to combat fraud, enhance operational efficiency, and increase the adoption of electronic payment systems. Voice of the People TV is on the street to gauge public opinion on this new directive.
It has been so tough because going to the bank is even so difficult, because when you get to the bank, what you can get is just 20,000. Some bank gave us 10,000 naira to use, which is very difficult to use. Without you having some business partners to distribute cash to you, it will not be easy to do the POS. So it has been so tough, and customers are really complaining that we are the one adding the charges, which they know that it's so difficult to get. Some are saying that we have some people in the bank that gives to us, which is very lie. It's a big lie, because we go there and they give us the same thing they give to others, which is 20,000 and 10,000, and we cannot possibly use it because there are some customers that need up to 300,000 that we want to use, some 500,000. So with that 20,000, it's not going to be easy to give them. So it has been so tough, and we need something to be done.
The issue of 100,000 naira limits is actually affecting business, in the sense that I told you initially that before now, when customer comes, we have the We can tell them that, customer, you can sit down, let me quickly rush to the bank and collect any amount they need to collect. But this time around, when you get to the banking hall, they will tell you that, madam, you cannot collect more than 20,000 naira. And then they will give you 200 naira notes. What are we going to use for that? When customers are sitting down waiting for that, they want to collect like 500,000 or 200,000, and the bank will be telling us that we cannot collect more than 20,000 naira. And sometimes, if customer come with their ATM that they need, like, let's say 500,000, you tell them that the charges is so amount, they will exclamate. I can't blame them, because initially they do go to bank, they will collect their money, but this time they come to POS. Even we that we are here, we are waiting for them to give us, as in we charge them, and it's not even so easy.
And there don't supposed to be limits, because if you go to bank now, why there is limit in POS or whatsoever? That's just what I think. Then there don't supposed to be limits.
100,000 naira limit that you can withdraw in the bank. I think it's not right, because most of the time some customers come, they withdraw even more than that. Initially, when this POS started, you can go to the bank and withdraw any amount. You can withdraw like 1.5 million, any amount. But now, it's not the way it used to be again. So it's kind of stressful to us. And now, because of that, charges have increased, because even now that they're saying 100,000 naira limit, and even if you go to the bank, you can't even withdraw the 100k. Then they will still tell you that they have limit of 20,000. And 20,000 is not enough for you to even do your business. Some banks, if you even go, they don't even have any money to even give you at all. So it's kind of difficult for us. So it's not really good. Try the idea. If there's a way the government can see to it, it's not good at all.
The new cash withdrawal limits for POS operators introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria has sparked various reactions across the country. As the policy takes effect, its impact on businesses and individual transactions will be felt in the coming weeks and days to come. Voice of the People TV will continue to follow these developments closely, providing you with further updates.
Well, thank you, Matthew, for that very good report. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, the news continues. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Many parents are combing the hospitals in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, for their children following the stampede at the children's end-of-year fun fair. No fewer than 30 children are said to have lost their lives in the stampede today, according to some unconfirmed sources. In a statement, the Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dotun Oyelade, said the stampede occurred at the private children's fun fair at Basharun Islamic High School. Oyelade said that the government mobilized a rapid response team following the news, adding that victims were swiftly transported to various hospitals within the Ibadan metropolis for medical attention. According to him, the government was neither involved in the planning nor the Ministry of Health requested to provide any logistic support for the private end-of-year fun fair. However, Oyelade assured that the state government will do all in its power to support the victims, even as it awaits a report from the Commissioner of Police on the casualties. He urged the parents searching for their children to check at the various hospitals where the victims had been taken for medical attention.
Well, Black Wednesday indeed in Ibadan. Well, let's take you to Edo State now, where the 18 suspended local government chairmen in the state have declared their recent suspension by the State House of Assembly as unconstitutional and against court ruling, and vowed not to respect it. Acting on a petition by Governor Monday Okpebolo, the lawmakers had on Tuesday suspended the council chiefs for 2 months and directed their respective legislative arms to take over the ruling of the councils. Describing the order as ultra-virus and a nullity, however, the chairman under the aegis of Edo State chapter of the Association of Local Government of Nigeria, ALGON, told newsmen that their purported suspension violated court orders The chairman of Ohiam-1 local government area, Newman Ogiagbe, insisted that the tenure of the council chairmen who were sworn in on September 4, 2023 would only end in 2025. According to Ogiagbe, who is also the Edo State Algon chairman, the State High Court had in their suits against the state government and the House of Assembly ordered the defendants not to dissolve the democratically elected council executives on or before the expiration of their 3-year tenure.
The Nigerian Customs Service has approved the promotion of 1,419 junior officers across various ranks. In the comprehensive promotion ratified during the agency's 10th management meeting on November 29, 2024, were 346 general duty and 384 support staff officers who were elevated from Assistant Inspector of Customs to Inspector of Customs. There were also 4 general duty and 13 support staff officers advanced from Customs Assistant 1 to Assistant Inspector of Customs, and 372 general duty and 59 support staff officers moved up from Customs Assistant 2 to Customs Assistant 1. Others include 188 general duty and 54 support staff officers who were promoted from Customs Assistant 3 to Customs Assistant 2. Congratulating the promoted officers, the Controller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, urged them to redouble efforts in fulfilling the agency's core mandate of revenue generation, suppression of smuggling, and trade facilitation. Meanwhile, the NCS management disclosed that the promotion list for senior officers were currently being processed and currently awaiting the approval of the NCS board.
While some Lagosians have expressed frustration over the many hours they spent in the gridlock on Lagos Airport Road and adjoining roads as President Bola Tinubu made his way into Lagos Wednesday morning, angered at the time they lost waiting at a spot as security operatives cordoned the routes and barred movement hours before the president's arrival, the respondents urged President Tinubu to think of ways of improving the economy rather than creating more hardship. They urged him to take a cue from presidents of civilized nations and focus on how to improve the economy and lives of citizens.
The wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has empowered elderly men and women from across the 36 states and Abuja with a total sum of 1.9 billion naira under the Elderly Support Scheme of a Renewed Hope initiative. In Anambra State, the governor's wife, Nonye Soludo, disbursed the palliative at the Dora Akunyili Women Development Center in Awka on behalf of the First Lady. VOP TV Awka correspondent Undu Okpaleze has the rest of the report.
Southeast is at least 99% Christians. Christmas is an annual ritual for us. And more importantly, the insecurity in Southeast is equally exaggerated. There's insecurity everywhere in the country. Southeast own is not really that exceptional. It's not a strange happening in Nigeria. So everybody is prepared to come home for Christmas, being the fact that it's an annual ritual, and as far as I'm concerned, Southeast is safe. It's safe for business, it's safe for people to move around, to go about their normal business, just like in other part of the country.
Igbos of the southeast, even up to south, are lovers of home. Virtually every Christmas, people come home. Yes, we have insecurity, but you cannot disconnect yourself from your kith and kin in the Igbo land. So we come home, we stay, despite the security situations. But bear in mind that in those festive seasons, the people you're talking about, or we're talking about, also celebrate Christmas. And they try as much as possible to come home. They have people, they have kith and kins, they have relations, they have parents. So they are coming home, and we believe that this Christmas will be crime-free to a reasonable extent.
It's not a funny thing. My kid's sister, the mother-in-law, is being buried. That will be Monday next week in Izaba. But I won't go because of the insecurity. And the way things are now, I find out that some people have booked some of these transport services are now charging 55,000 from Lagos down to this place now. And you don't even have space to come down to this place. So it's for the governments, all the governors of the 5 states of the southeast to arrange for security because they've been very adamant concerning the issue of security and they've not been taking it so serious, things like that. But these people have been, 2 days ago, they kidnapped someone along this road by Nemo axis. So they keep on kidnapping on daily basis and collecting ransom. Some you hear, some you will not hear. But the governors are not trying to do anything about it. So it's for us to appeal to the Southeast governors to make sure that this place is secured for lives and properties. That's the only way out for people to enjoy.
All right, and Nigerians reacting to the palliatives there. You're still watching the 9 p.m. news on Voice of the People TV. Stay with us for more stories after this break.
The gift of love,
the gift of joy,
the gift of laughter,
the gift of happiness,
the gift of peace. May all these and more be yours this Yuletide season.
Merry Christmas!
Season's greetings from the management and staff of Voice of the People Television.
You're welcome back. Now, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway near Kara Bridge was on lockdown for the major part of the day following a multiple vehicle crash in the early hours of Wednesday. The incident involving trucks claimed the life of an unidentified adult male. As a result, numerous motorists are trapped in the gridlock. According to reports, the crash occurred at approximately 3 a.m. outward Lagos, completely paralyzing vehicular and pedestrian activities in the area. Emergency respondents, including personnel from the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, the Nigeria Police, and the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, were on the scene to restore normalcy. The accident involved a truck with an unknown registration number, carrying several rolls of steel coils and a 40-foot container whose head detached during the crash. This caused a complete obstruction of vehicular movement in both directions on the expressway. The permanent secretary of LASEMA, Olufemi Oke Osanyi Tolu, who was also present at the scene, advised motorists to use alternative routes such as Ikorodu Road, Shagamu Road, and the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway while recovery operations continued. He explained that investigations are conducted by the agency's response team revealed that the articulated truck driver, in a bid to avoid collision with a 40-foot container on the road, lost control and overturned, discharging its cargo of steel coils onto the carriageway. He added that an unidentified adult male driver lost his life in the incident and the body was removed before the arrival of the agency's response team.
The National Inland Waterways Authority has urged Nigerians to prioritize their safety while using the country's inland waterways during the festive season. In a statement today, the agency urged the people to adhere to the Transportation Code 2023, which has been gazetted and will be strictly enforced to ensure safer water transportation. Emphasizing the need to prevent avoidable accident, NIWA directed boat operators to avoid loading their boats beyond approved limits and to provide life jackets to passengers free of charge. It further banned the consumption of alcohol and other prohibited substances before or during boat rides. The statement also made mandated the proper filling and confirmation of passenger manifest before departure, while a compulsory safety talk must be conducted before setting sail. More so, NIWA stressed that boat operations must not exceed 6 p.m. while advising passengers against night travels on waterways. For swift emergency responses, NIWA has placed its operational bases on high alert, with the following emergency response lines now available to the public.
On to another story now. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State has expressed concerns over a reported death sentence for a young man who stole a fowl. In a statement on X on Tuesday, the governor directed the state's Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice to conduct full investigation into the case and initiate processes to grant the young man a prerogative of mercy. According to him, Osun is a land of justice and equity and must ensure fairness and protection of the sanctity of lives. It further assured the public that the matter was receiving his direct attention with every sense of urgency. The case, which has attracted widespread attention, reportedly involved a young man who was reportedly arrested in 2010 and sentenced to death by hanging in 2014 after being convicted of stealing a fowl. The incident has raised questions about the severity of the punishment for what many consider a relatively minor offense.
Despite the increasing concerns about insecurity in the southeastern part of Nigeria, there are still strong indications that the geopolitical zone would witness an influx of holiday makers this Yellowtide. It has always been a life pattern for the Igbo people to come from across the globe to celebrate Christmas and the New Year with their kids and kin at home. However, it is feared that the spate of kidnappings, killings, and other forms of criminal activities might negatively affect this yearly urban-rural migration this time. VOP TV's Orca correspondent Undu Okpalize has an update on Christmas amidst insecurity.
They said that number one of Nigeria is coming, so that we should wait. But what I can say about it is that in other countries, it don't happen like that.
All right, and of course, coming up next is business, sport, entertainment stories after the break. Do stay with us.
You're welcome back. Some business news now. Towards enhancing Nigeria's investment climate and increasing domestic gas utilization, the Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) has announced the implementation of fiscal incentives under the Presidential Gas for Growth initiative. A statement Wednesday from the National Public Relations Officer, Abdullahi Maiwada, said that in line with the policy, machinery, equipment, and spare parts imported for Nigerian gas utilization now attracts 0% import duty. The agency further explained that the exemption, which is pursuant to Part 1, Section 5 of the Customs and Excise Tariff Act, encompasses all equipment related to compressed natural gas (CNG) and liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) imported into Nigeria. In addition, feed gas for all processed gas (CNG), imported LPG, CNG equipment components, and conversion and installation services are now zero-rated for value-added tax. Also, to enjoy free VAT are LPG equipment components, conversion and installation services, and all equipment and infrastructure related to the expansion of CNG, LPG, and the presidential CNG initiative, including conversion kits. However, importers seeking to benefit from these incentives must obtain an import duty exemption certificate (IDEC) from the Federal Ministry of Finance and a letter of support from the Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Energy, the statement added.
The Executive Director of Operations and Technical, Tantita Security Service Limited, Captain Waredi Enuso, has said that through innovative carbon credit initiatives, Niger Delta region could generate $320 million annually by harnessing its vegetation and untapped environmental potential. He said this during his investiture as honorary doctorate recipient and Lifetime Achievement Sustainable Development Awardee from Highstone Global University, Texas, USA, held in Asaba, Delta State. He said that the Carbon Credit Initiative represents a groundbreaking opportunity for communities within the maritime area, many of which remain rich in vegetation despite years of environmental degradation. Enuso's revolutionary vision built on sustainability and economic diversification is targeted at opportunities in the Niger Delta. He said the firm's goal is to make the communities economically independent of oil and gas by engaging them in carbon credit generation and carbon capture programs. According to research conducted in the region, mapped areas with approximately 50,000 trees could generate $320 million annually, providing a sustainable alternative income stream for the people. He, however, cautioned that the figure would require scientific validation and alignment with Nigeria's Climate Change Act of 2021 to ensure long-term success.
And for some sports news now, still basking in the euphoria of his successful outing at the 2024 CAF Awards, where he was feted as the Men's Player of the Year, Super Eagles and Atlanta forward Ademola Lookman has admitted past difficulties served as the impetus to arrive at the zenith of African football. On Monday in the Moroccan city of Marrakesh, Lookman was named the 2024 CAF African Player of the Year after a remarkable year for club and country. He was a star for Atalanta with a stunning hat-trick as the Italian Serie A side clinched the Europa League title for the first time at the expense of Germany's Bayer Leverkusen. He was also named in the Europa League Team of the Year, contributing 27 goals and 12 assists between club and country in 2024, and deservedly made shortlist for the 2024 Ballon d'Or award, where he finished 14th. But at the venue, he took away the biggest prize ahead of 4 other challengers, including homeboy Morocco's Ashraf Hakimi, to become the 7th Nigerian to win the CAF Men's Player of the Year awards.
And now to entertainment, the Recording Industry Association of America, RIA, has announced that Beyoncé has achieved a historic milestone, becoming the most certified female artist of all time, with a total of 103 certified titles. The record-breaking achievement comes after several of Beyoncé's songs received a new certification, further solidifying her legacy as a music industry icon. Among her accolades are diamond-certified hits like Halo and Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It, showcasing her enduring success. Her albums have also garnered significant recognition, with Renaissance earning twice platinum, and Lemonade reaching 4 times platinum, and both Fierce and Dangerously in Love achieving 7 times platinum status. This milestone cements Beyonce as Beyonce's place at the pinnacle of music history.
Well, back home here, Speed Darlington's prolonged detention continues to spark public curiosity as Wednesday marks 3 weeks since his second arrest on the 27th of November during a performance in Owerri, Imo State. His lawyer, Stan Eleke of Law Capital, has now explained why his client is in his custody. Recall that Darlington was arrested on allegations of cyber-stalking Nigerian Afrobeat star Burna Boy and his lawyers, Deji Adeyanju and Mr. Aleke, and they have long decried what they consider an unjustified detention. But in an interview, Mr. Aleke shared updates on the matter, shedding light on the legal entanglements and the real obstacles to his client's release. The lawyer said Darlington was charged to court on the 14th of January and was set as the hearing date. He disclosed that though the judge insisted on waiting, the lawyers were determined to file for fundamental rights enforcement before the court goes on recess to ensure Darlington does not spend the festive period in detention. When asked about the key factors causing the delay in Darlington's release, Mr. Aleke pointed to the influence of powerful individuals and the high profile of Burna Boy, the complainant. The rapper's lawyer said he believes that defamation is a civil matter, not a criminal one, and criticized the police for his client's detention.
That's it on the 9 p.m. news. Before we go, a quick look at the headlines. Federal government to spend 4.91 trillion on defense security.
Also, unemployment will be tackled head-on in 2025, Tinubu assures youth.
Where outlines a plan for $750 million World Bank loan implementation.
Also, CBN imposes 1.2 million daily limit on POS agents.
Parents besiege hospitals as many children fear dead in Funfest stampede.
And in business, we told you that Customs has implemented presidential fiscal incentives on compressed natural gas.
In entertainment, Beyonce becomes the most certified female artist in rare history.
And in sports, difficult moments filled my Africa Best Award, says Lukman.
And do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel on YouTube. We have Voice of the People TV, and on all the social media platforms, we have VOP TV Live. I am Jerry Arpadoy.
Well, and I am Vivian Oguche. Have a fantastic night.
Good evening.